Okay, hello people. So, I had to process something for a few days. As a person who's not used to physical contact with other human beings, and for the most of my life, I have to say it probably started around the age of 8 or 9. Children, their cognition changes around that time. It's a developmental stage for most kids. So I'm not sure if it was my awareness that changed it or if it was just, there was other things that were happening to me at that time as well. People afraid of me talking and remembering things that I'm not supposed to remember. So there was things going on to make me forget stuff. So I'm not sure if that was part of maybe why I changed, because there was additional abuse that actually caused some severe trauma, because there's memory gaps, right? And that often happens with children who are severely abused. There'll be another trauma that will happen after the SA abuse to basically almost kind of create a fracture, and the child will black out and forget. And then wake up later with a nightmare or severe pain. And I've seen it a lot. And I've been through it, so maybe that's part of it. But I slowly, at that age, began to no longer want hugs, no longer want affection. And I can tell you from my own experience with my children, because I didn't know when I first had kids, because I was unaware, I just wasn't remembering the abuse I had experienced. I was very uneducated about what abuse really was in a relationship. I mean, I thought it was normal what I was going through. And because I was isolated and I wasn't allowed contact with the outside world really in any way, I was made to feel like everybody hated me, nobody liked me, especially women. I was very isolated from other women, told that I was, not likable, and I always upset people and offended people. And because I was so kind of shy at first, but probably had my face probably looked like a rusting bitch face, people just assumed I was a bitch or a snob, and I didn't realize that I was also being gossiped about by the same people who were telling me that nobody liked me. They were telling everybody else what a bitch I was, and I didn't like them. So of course nobody wanted to be my friend. So when my kids started acting strange and not wanting affection, even at a young age, like 4 and 5, with the girls, it was always around 2.5 when it would start. They wouldn't want me to hold them anymore. They wouldn't want to cuddle. And I just assumed they were like me, just didn't really enjoy affection. And I just didn't realize how much they really were like me. That the reason why none of us really enjoyed being touched is because normally when we were touched, it was against our will. And we did not enjoy it. And then we were punished for it afterwards, even though we did everything the person said. So it was, right? I can't tell you how heartbreaking it is as a mother to know your child needs affection, to see it, know that they need a hug, know that they need someone to hold them and tell them it's okay. But knowing if you were to force it upon them, it would cause them more harm. So you have to sit back and watch them have a meltdown and not be able to comfort them, because respecting their choice to be touched or not touched is more important than anything at that moment. To let them know they have the power to say no, to say yes, and that it's 100% going to be respected. But also knowing they need love, right? But it's hard. That is really hard. So what I had to process was, since I started this healing journey, I haven't really been very social with people because it's new for me and I find it very awkward, and I'm still me. I'm still going to say weird shit and do weird shit, and I don't want to make other people uncomfortable all the time, even though I find it amusing sometimes. They probably don't. So I try to be respectful, which makes me nervous when I'm out talking to people. So I don't socialize very much. But I decided for the first time in I want to say 6 years. No, that's not true. I did get a haircut last year. So, but this was you guys have to understand, if you come from the country, like a rural small town area that's full of farmers and hardworking, blue collar people, the hairdressers there target the audience, right? So the haircuts, you go in for like a $20 haircut, they wet your hair, they cut it, and you get out. It's not like a big ordeal. So I went to my first real haircut in years. And honestly, the gentleman who cut my hair was a young man. And he had a lot of feminine energy. He was very nice. He was very quiet, soft-spoken, very gentle. I don't want to say, I don't want to judge whether his sexuality was one or the other, but he was definitely very feminine in nature. And he was so kind. And for me, it was a really strange experience to have somebody who is male in gender treat me with respect and tenderness. And it was weird to say tenderness, but it is tenderness because I don't normally let people touch me. And all he did was wash my hair. Very professional. Okay? Super professional. Nothing inappropriate. But, the whole concept of like a real hairdresser place where they actually like massage your hair and massage your head and wash your hair properly and all of that. I haven't done that since I was probably like in my 20s. So that, of course, was novel for me. But it was just the energy in which he was doing it. Like, he took his job seriously. He wanted to do a good job, and he wanted me to enjoy the experience, so I'd go back to him as a hairdresser, which, I mean, why wouldn't I? He was a really good hairdresser. Very caring and very aware, right? Like of my boundaries and what I liked, what I didn't like. And then he took the time at the end to actually pay attention to me as a human, which was really nice. So yeah, it was an interesting thing for me to be touched by somebody, and even if it was just my head and my hair, in a way that wasn't making me feel terrified. And then for him to actually see me as a person and actually comment, because he actually noticed things that I was doing, right? Like my jewelry that I was making. So I was wearing jewelry I made, and asked me some other, oh yeah, he noticed my tattoos, my self-made tattoos. And we were talking about me cutting my own hair. And so he was actually complimenting my skills. Whether he actually genuinely thought I had good skills or not isn't the point. The point though was he actually was making an effort to try to let me know as a person. He saw me as a person. That right there is great customer service, first of all. Someone who's been in the customer service industry most of her life, I can tell you, that's not as common as you think, even in the customer service industry, right? So the gentleman took pride in his job. He took pride in making a human connection with his client. And it was so overwhelming for me, it took me literally 2 days to process. Do you know how weird that is? It took me 2 days. 2 days to just sit with the concept that another human being didn't find me repulsive, didn't want to abuse me, enjoyed my company, and actually saw me, or at least saw parts of who I am, right? Making jewelry, being creative, that's part of me, right? Doing things that other people don't like to do is part of me. So it was a weird experience. And it was really overwhelming. Like when I finally let it sink in, the first day, I just didn't even process it. The first day, I just kind of like, I couldn't deal with it right away. And then when it finally sunk in that, yeah, you can have human experiences with other humans that don't result in abuse or a contract exchange of energy that makes you the sufferer in the end. It's a weird concept for somebody who spent her entire life being used and abused. And it's not that it's anyone's fault that happened, because, I mean, I'm not going to say I wasn't always innocent. I mean, definitely the things done to me were worse than the things I did, if you would like to compare them. But it doesn't change the fact that we all play a role in someone's life, bad or good. But my point is it's a novel thing when you're coming out of trauma and healing and growing. It might feel weird. It might feel really fucking scary. But it's good. It is. So if you can relate, hang in there. Okay, bye.